Hi, I'm Mr. Wavvy, and I'm here with Charles Hamilton. How's it going?
Chill. Sorry for the weird pound.
It's okay, I'm the awkwardest dude alive, so you know.
Don't worry about it.
I'm used to that stuff. It started right off the bat. It's your comeback season right now.
Yes, sir.
You know, first time doing things around again. What was one of your biggest motives for coming back?
Just kind of redeeming myself. You know what I mean? I feel like I left some stones unturned. I didn't burn any bridges, but I feel like I should have. There was a lot of shouldas and couldas, and you know, when I was given the opportunity to come back, I was like, all right, let me just clear the air one time. So it just seems to be working out. Well, we have an EP coming out first. The EP is called The Black Box. It should be out by late July. It's a journey through my mind. It's not too many songs, so the lyrics have to be really poignant. So I just went as hard as I could lyrically, and we're just waiting on the album. Later this month.
Later this month?
Later this year. Later this year.
What are you thinking for a release date for that?
Sometime in October.
Okay. And in terms,
Late third quarter.
One thing I always appreciate about your music is I think the majority, not even the majority, all your songs have, a meaning to them. There's some artists that just rap for rapping's sake. I think all of your songs have like a message with them. And, what are some of the themes you're focusing on with this new material?
It's a little more socially guided. This time around, I'm paying more, as you can tell by the way I'm dressing, I'm paying more attention to the times. I used to be very retro, and now I'm stepping into a very futuristic kind of view, both aesthetically and musically. So you can expect a very futuristic sound with some of that good old soulful musicianship.
Yeah, well, I think at the same time, you can say futuristic, you can say past. I think at the same time, you really stayed in your own league and stayed true to yourself, which I appreciate.
Well, thank you.
In terms of features on these new materials of work, who are you thinking of working with, or who have you worked with already besides Rita Ora?
Well, I'm still in talks with Lupe.
Okay.
All I got to do is send him the beat and get right to it.
You were just on the tour with him also.
Yeah, Lupe's a great guy. There's a bunch of names getting tossed, but I don't want to say anything preliminary and then you guys not get it. So.
Who's one that you might not have talked to yet but would really like to get?
Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to work with Drake. He's definitely of a high caliber, and I want to work with him.
Talking a bit about the in-between stages of you making a musical comeback, you did go through some pretty dark times. What would you say are some of your darkest memories of being in that position?
Living in an abandoned house in Staten Island. That's when it got the worst.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What was you going to ask me?
No, go ahead.
Basically, I didn't know who was coming for me. I didn't know who was looking for me. I had been getting conflicting reports as far as who's been saying what. This person's from out of town looking for you. So out of paranoia, I just found an abandoned house and just took solace there. I was even making beats there. I felt good being there, but I didn't feel good being in the situation.
In what terms, like an emotional sense, or?
In every context, I just didn't like the fact that I had to resort to being so alone that I was in an abandoned house.
What were some of the things you did that kind of helped you feel better on your journey to kind of, making an emotional and mental kind of, I don't know if recovery is, comeback gets the better word.
Well, I just made music.
Yeah.
That's all I did. My music documented everything.
I
don't know what projects you have, but all I can say is that my best music came around in that era. Because it
was kind of like therapy on paper, on wax,
Yeah, and it's Lupe said something to the effect of it's still important for your core fan base to be the mirror.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was still able to understand, I could still explain to you all the stuff I was saying in every song.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was so far out that I couldn't get my message across. But from 2010 to last year, I was hitting hard.
Yeah.
It's just, who wants to hear the burnout? And I saw myself as a burnout. No matter how much music I made, I wasn't up in everybody's faces. I wasn't doing a bunch of interviews. I wasn't everywhere.
Kind of just in your own zone.
Yeah. So I'm just proud to come back into a public forum and still be doing my thing.
All right. Getting into some more philosophical questions to wrap things up. you've had a lot of interesting takes on what God is. What would you say, if there is a God, what would you say God is at this point in your life? How would you perceive God to be?
God is like a referee at this point. God is pretty much trying to see whether or not I'm going to follow him or if I'm going to break the rules. Which isn't to say that God isn't a woman, but if you believe God is a man, all right, cool. He's still a referee. There's female referees too. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to make sure everyone is doing the right thing. Your life is pretty much planned out, but it's not. It's up to you to decide where you're going to go. You can go to God for guidance as far as what you're going to be doing with your future, or you could just live out your life. But just know God has a way of knowing everything you're going to do before you do it. So, I see, lately I've been trying to make sure that people understand that these are just individual philosophies. These aren't necessarily gospel.
Concrete idea,
But they come from concrete facts. You know what I mean? So I might not give you the context of where I get my stuff from, but just know that there is a context for everything, which is
it's coming from a congruent place.
Right. The supersonic philosophy is 6 words. There is a context for everything. That's my whole philosophy. For the record, for all the people who have been asking me about my philosophy on Sonic the Hedgehog, it's called the supersonic philosophy. And the philosophy is there is a context for everything. 6 words.
So your EP is complete, correct?
Yes.
And what's the completion rate of your album at this point?
I don't want to say it's done, but I'm getting more and more tracks every day if you want to just lay some stuff down on. Well, there's no title for the album yet. But I'm sure we're gonna come up with something.
Do you have anything you're bouncing around?
There was the Impact, something like Impact or Delayed Reaction, but that's just tentative. That's not even.
Delayed Reaction could be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
Charles, what is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life is to live forever.
Amen. All right. Okay, thank you, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Charles,
I'm Mr. Wavvy, and we're out.